Hello and welcome to this edition of Iron Sports, and I am Jermaine Brown. In this edition, the Jamaica Football Federation has been at the forefront of recent discussions, with President Michael Ricketts set to serve as president for another 4-year term. We look at his performance up to date as we speak with a board member and parish president. We also look at a revolving issue involving track and field athletes. As usual, let us know what you think by heading to our Facebook page, Iron Sports JA. When we come back, we're going to be on the field of play, discussing the JFF and more. Soon come. Right then, welcome back to Iron Sports. Michael Ricketts is set to serve his first full 4-year tenure as president of the Jamaica Football Federation. He's set to return unopposed as 11 parish presidents have showed their support, up from 8 the last time around, and that was 2 years ago. But does this represent progress for the nation's football? Well, here to discuss that and more is a JFF board member and St. Thomas Football Association President Wayne Thompson, who joins us now on set. Last time around, Wayne, well, he supported Ambassador Stuart Stevenson. This time around, he's supporting Michael Ricketts. Wayne, welcome to Iron Sports.
It's a pleasure, Jermaine.
First up, let me ask you, I have to pose this question right off the bat. Football, right at first kick. You supported Ambassador Stuart Stevenson 2 years ago, but this time around, you've thrown your support behind Michael Ricketts. What was the deciding factor behind that?
First of all, let me just thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Representing St. Thomas, I suppose,
right,
and speaking on JFF matters. Just want to say hi to the listeners and viewers, that is. Basically, we use a consultative process, really, because the truth is, St. Thomas alone cannot just decide how we choose our leaders. So one of the things we did was we did our internal assessment. And like I've said on another program, we, meaning a number of members, because at the end of the day, we wanted to have a kind of participatory approach in terms of how we choose our leaders, and not just the participation happening within the parishes. So we had the discussion, we look at some of the pluses, we look at some of the failings, and the failings, I must say, they're failings. And some of these, a lot of these, would have been highlighted in the public.
Right.
Because the public really don't lose an opportunity to speak on some of these matters. And I see it in a positive way, because it just goes to show the extent to which the stakeholders are involved with this particular product, and they believe that it can do well for the country.
But when you met collectively, no?
So collectively would have been members. We started having a discussion from the Eastern Bloc. We looked at the positives, as I've said, we looked at the failings. One of the things that Mike had committed to was his openness towards parish association.
Right.
And the openness, some may see it as financial, but yes, he has supported us financially with respect to our administrative expenses, which can be it's of material value, because at the end of the day, if you are not able to pay your bills administratively, it becomes a burden for the parish association and JFF by extension. So he has supported us administratively, and he has really been part of he has attended most of our events, trying to be part of the process. You're aware that we're lacking in terms of infrastructure. We're lacking in terms of basic resources that we need. And resources not just financial, it's also human resources. So if you're not part of that conversation, it's going to be difficult for you to execute and to understand what is happening out there in the parishes.
Okay.
So for that, I must, commend Mr. Ricketts. Mind you, we're talking about 2 years. And he has also used a participator approach also to develop a strategic plan, which I am hoping that at some point in time, the JFF will basically engage the stakeholders, including the private sector and the media, to communicate what we have set out to accomplish for the next 4 years. For more reasons than one, we have to find ourselves in a situation where performance is based on objectives and targets that you would have established, so that as people assess your performance over time, it is not being assessed in a very informal and willy-nilly way, but based on agreed objectives that would have been set.
So you're saying he's basically met his objectives as far as the St. Thomas Football Association is concerned?
So we are pretty pleased based on the 2 years. With one, the roadmap is very critical to us. St. Thomas, we're a very proud parish, though the resources may be limited at times, but we aspire for greatness, and we have done well with little.
All right.
So what he has done, basically, as I've said to you, is to establish a strategic plan that we were a part of, and we believe.
And that you're working with.
We're working with it, and we believe it will help to manage some of the risks that are associated with even communication at this point, and the impression that the media and other stakeholders would have.
There would have been a